All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the January 21st Board of County Commissioners meeting. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the first thing we have on our agenda are our minutes. Gentlemen, do you have any additions or corrections from last week?
I do not.
Okay.
I move to approve the proceedings of Board of County Commissioners for Montezuma County held Tuesday, January 14th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County, January 14th, 2025. Is there any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And next up is planning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Looks like you're going to keep us real busy again today.
Not very long.
All right.
So we have a public hearing, but I think you have to read the public notice before we can
We will,
request a
and then,
continuance.
and then we can move forward. So will you please, Danielle, please read the notice? Roll call? Yeah.
So the public notice, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Commissioner Candelaria,
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay,
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver,
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
The Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners public notice. The notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination of a proposed 3-lot minor subdivision application submitted by Three Rotors Ranches Incorporated. Agent Rebecca Lambert on property located at 30275 Road S, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 40 acres, more or less, located east of Road 30, north of Road S, situated in Section 22, Township 37N, Range 15W, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, January 21st, 2025, at 9 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online service at https://co-co.smartgovcommunity.com/public/home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 6th day of January 2025, Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado. Published in the Journal on Wednesday, January 8th, 2025.
All right. Thank you, Danielle. All right. We won't have an overview on this other than a request for a continuance for February 4th, correct?
That is correct.
At 9.
February 4th at 9 a.m.
Okay. Go ahead.
I move to continue this public hearing for Three Rotors Ranches Incorporated to February 4th at 9 a.m. 2025.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to continue this public hearing for Three Rotors Ranches to February 4th at 9 a.m. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, sir. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
at 9 a.m. on
All right.
February 4th.
And we also have a plat, the Alston single lot development that just came in this morning that
Okay.
we need signatures.
All right, roll it out.
Yeah.
That's all we, morning.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you.
All right. Next is our public comment session, and I had the opportunity to poll the crowd, and we have no public comment, so I am going to go right beyond the public comment session for today's meeting. We'll go into unfinished business. First up, Mr. Dobry, we're going to talk about the cost allocation plan.
Yes, this item is a renewal of the master services agreement with MGT for the annual cost allocation plan. That includes the FY24 2 CFR Part 200, as well as setting our countywide indirect cost rate. I also included in the packet a copy of the current plan for you guys to look over if you wanted to. I spoke with Administrator Anderson, and our attorney didn't have any issues with this contract renewal.
Questions at all, guys?
No, I looked it over.
Okay.
I move to sign this master services agreement between MGT Impact Solutions and Montezuma County.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept and sign the master service agreement between MGT and Montezuma County. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up, Travis, I'll give this one to you. A resolution establishing the office hours and holidays for Montezuma County. We have talked about this in the past, obviously, but I think this is just a resolution to memorialize everything that we've talked about.
Yes, sir. Just ministerial. We have to do this every year by statute. Here's the 2025 holidays that was pre-approved. And here is a resolution designating office hours and the annual holiday schedule. The office hours are what we was able to pull up off of our website for each office. There is obviously disclaimers in here. The clerks of the court, clerk and recorders, and sheriffs are subject at all times to command of the people and shall at all hours, night and day, be prepared to attend such duties as may be required of them. So, again, this is just ministerial.
Any questions, gentlemen?
No.
Okay.
I move to approve resolution number 2, a resolution designating office hours and annual holiday schedule for Montezuma County for 2025.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept resolution number 2, 2025, a resolution designating office hours and annual holiday schedule for Montezuma County. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Resolution establishing the rate for emergency telephone service. Travis, I'll let you take this one also.
Again, gentlemen, this is ministerial only. We have to set our rate each year. Our current rate, as historically authorized, is $1.97. And again, this is just ministerial only, setting that rate at $1.97 for the telephone services.
Okay. I move to approve resolution number 3, 2025, a resolution establishing a rate for emergency telephone services.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to sign resolution number 3, 2025, a resolution establishing a rate for emergency telephone services. Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then next we have an IGA with, for dispatch services. Travis?
Commissioners, this is done yearly. This is our IGA for dispatch services with Cortez Dispatch. We did have a meeting last week. Our hope is to transition this to a 3-year contract. That way we're not having to redo this every year.
I actually like that. I like a 3-year contract. I know that things will change, but it seems a little bit easier than doing it annually on this one, for sure. So good work, guys.
I would so move we sign the intergovernmental agreement for dispatch services.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to sign the IGA for dispatch services. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We now have a letter of support for a statewide digital truncated radio system, and I guess, Mr. Spratland, you'll be talking about this one. We did see this in our packet. But I do have one question. At our DFPC meeting that we had in Pueblo on Thursday, does this kind of cover what they're asking for? I mean, does it cover all of the, basically just the ask to fund it? And that's,
Yeah, that's pretty much what the director was talking about. They don't want to box us in an area where, if we put too many details in this letter, they just want us to fund it and the reasons behind it to make it cleaner, so that if they don't accept one proposal, they'll accept another maybe. So this is kind of my guidance from the director up there, trying to assist getting these support letters out. So,
In my recollection, the state forced us into this to start with, into this 800 trunk system. And
yeah, it was, yeah. Well, it was a combination, and you can blame me too, because I really like the system.
Yeah.
I was going to actually do another letter for myself and add in the reasons, some of the details in 1998, November 29th, when we were working all of the county and going into Utah, and how difficult it was trying to run 3 radios on and trying to keep in communication, and half the time you couldn't communicate with anybody for the 2 weeks of that manhunt we had. So now, today, if we were to go back to VHF, our systems are weak. They're not strong enough. It'd probably be worse than it was in 98. And the difference now is we have a trunk system that everybody that would arrive for something like that can all talk on the same channels, and Utah has now got a patch, and we're ready to go with them, so they can patch right into our system as well. We're trying to patch into using different consulates and patches, and trying to get the system organized for Wyoming, Kansas, and Utah. And I've been working on the Utah side now. So much better, good system, but software upgrades and equipment and all of that, very expensive.
so again, my question, like I asked in my email, I really don't think the JBC is going to fund this, period, even though we ask. I think we should start establishing a plan of how we're going to fund our small piece of the pie. What are we going to do? I think that's a conversation that we need to start having, because I don't see the JBC funding this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being real honest.
Yeah. Well, the JBC, my understanding, again, and this is just from talking to at least 3 people up there that have been talking to the JBC. One person is like totally against it, and the other 5, I think there's 6 on that committee, the other 5 would like to fund it. They just don't know where they're going to find the funding. But they have to, I think the support letter will show at least we're interested, and if we can get more of these letters in, maybe they'll agree to 1 more year or another 2 years. I don't know. But at this point, we really we have $25 million in the kitty, but that's all contractual right now. So a lot of that is to keep the system running. we still need to be funded in one way or another, and user fees would be outrageous for us to even think about running. You know, $1,000 per application would bring us in 20 grand for our county. But if you divide all the counties up, you need 64 grand per county to keep it running, and we can't afford that. So we would have to come up with some other proposals and other ideas. And right now, they're just looking at trying to fund it through, you know, the state general fund and that reappropriated funding. And right now, I'm waiting to hear from anybody else that has any ideas. But yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what really occurs or what's on the radar, and then start moving forward with another plan. But we definitely need a plan for sure. So.
Okay. All right, with that,
I would so move we sign the letter of support for the Public Safety Communications Trust Fund.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to sign the letter of support for the statewide community trust fund, the statewide digital truncated radio system. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Thank you, gentlemen.
thank you, sir.
Good morning.
Appreciate it. That's all we have under unfinished business. We're going to go right straight down to our reports. We do not have an attorney this morning. He got cold, and he's somewhere. We don't know where he's at, but he's somewhere. Cold. County Administrator, Travis.
Don't have a lot. It was a pretty busy week. However, got some questions about 2025 PABs. I think the most significant was Sheriff's Office submitted some documents for their collective bargaining, and with Commissioner's direction, I can see if Stephen and I can start looking at professional legal services for attorneys who are versed in this area. So
Okay. Very good.
I'll go with Stephen, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Okay, sounds good. Kim Danielle. Anything? Nothing? Okay, you have an opportunity. All right. All right, Commissioners report. Commissioner Copenafer.
I don't have much to report this week. Over at Southwest Water, we voted to form a partnership establishment here a while back, put in a lot of different projects for the money from the infrastructure bill, for the Upper Colorado River Basin Drought Mitigation Program, and Southwest got awarded $25.6 million for those projects. I think there's 17 different projects that's going to cover in this basin, basically for the area that Southwest covers here throughout this whole Southwest. Some of it's in Mancus area, some of it's over here on the Dolores, some of it's on the Ute Reservation. But they got that whole grant awarded as long as that stays. They put all that stuff out just for this swearing in and this whole process, so I don't know how much of that money, I don't know if they can bring that money back into the system or not, or if it's going to stay out there. But some of the different projects, like where the ditch comes out of the river there on the Mancus, got awarded to be funded to put a fish passage in to divert that ditch, the Weber ditch. It's part of a project that they actually tried to do here several years ago, but when COVID hit and the price of the pipe went up so high, they couldn't afford to do it. So at least this part, the diversion part, will get put in through this structure. But we put all these different projects together and submitted them all as one big package group, so everybody didn't have to try to do it by themselves. And so Southwest will basically oversee this whole project and get contracts out to each of these individual 17 different projects with that money. And they need to be done. I think that money has to be spent by 2030. They got about 4 or 5 years to get it all done, I think. Ty, do you?
Yeah, it's 5 years.
5 years, yeah. So it's gonna be good for the whole area. I mean, economically, it'll be an influx of quite a bit of money into this whole area, so it'll be some good projects in there that will help. It would surprise me if the next tier of funding actually comes out or comes to fruition, and it was more of the infrastructure type projects where there was actually gonna be some infrastructure
Distribution of
stuff
the
done
water.
that would do some really good. A lot of these are drought mitigation things, erosion control and that sort of thing, a lot of these projects that got okayed now. But the actual infrastructure projects were supposed to be funded in the next bucket, and we'll see what happens, I guess.
Okay. Very good.
I guess that's all I had.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Commissioner Lindsay.
Yeah, I went to city council. They, in their consent agenda, did a couple of renewals on liquor licenses and a conditional use permit for a triplex on South Oak Street, and a resolution for denying an application of a site plan for a drive-up liquor window. And they did an intergovernmental agreement for dispatch services and got a report on the highway users tax fund. And that was the size of council meeting. It was pretty short. That's about all I have going on.
All right, very good. Well, I spent the day traveling to Pueblo on Wednesday, had a all-day statewide fire commission meeting. A lot of what was talked about in that meeting was the statewide WUI code, the Wildland Urban Interface Code. The counties, municipalities have 90 days to basically adopt that. After the state adopts it, they should have it adopted before July. The counties will have 90 days after that, so by October 1st, that will be out. Statewide funding for the DFPC, there are some counties such as ours that do not have any enforcement as far as a building department to enforce any of these things. It looks like it's going to fall on the DFPC, but with the statewide funding, the DFPC doesn't have enough funding to actually do it either. So it's going to be something to see. If you look at the maps that currently exist, and we also have the opportunity to create our own map if we want to. But the whole western part of our county and a lot of the southern portions of our county are going to be within that WUI code. And then the other component of that is the hardening of all of the homes, and specifically after what we've seen in California right now. You know, it's at the height of everyone's awareness, but there's a cost associated with that to individual homeowners for hardening. But mitigation is still by far the biggest thing that you should do around your own homes right now, is to mitigate the fuels around there. So more to come on the statewide WUI code. We did then come back Friday. We had a town hall meeting here via Zoom. Travis and I were on that. It was about an hour and a half, 2-hour meeting with all of the counties, and a lot of questions were asked, and we'll get answers back on those as they come available. And that is about all that I have.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn this January 21st, 2025 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.